Yeah, I guess you did a great introduction. I usually, when I talk about myself, I say I'm an activist, educator, and technologist. I always kind of had two careers. So one more in the nonprofits and working directly with people, like training, and the other one is in business and tech. Currently, I am doing full-time work as a full-time employment coach with the Multicultural Association here in this city, and I work as a technology consultant part time. So this is not my first time giving a presentation for Skills for Change. I'm always happy and always look forward to help your cohort. And actually, a lot of what we do at the Multicultural Association here are similar to what you guys do at Skills for Change. So in the beginning, let me start by when we talk about networking or connections. There's a lot of terms when we talk about networking, but there's a lot of misconceptions that comes with it. So let me start in the beginning to tell you some of the misconceptions that come with it. And by the way, if you go on my website, my LinkedIn, anything I have online, and if you see any of my accomplishment, I can tell you right away that most of it is because of the power of connections, networking, and people. I would say most of it is for the power of people, and it's not necessarily like when I say the power of people, just like having using my connections to do all these things I've done, but it's using people to help people, to connect with people, to build a community, to build a network. So a lot of what I'm going to do this is apply to my life, and it helped me big time, and it's always helping me. And most of the people I know who do amazing things, they do it because of a big part of it is because of people and networking. So um, uh, misconception one, networking is about jobs. So most of people think when they think about the term networking, they think, oh, I need to work on myself, expand my network because that will help me get a better job. But that's actually networking is applies on all the aspects of our life. So we want to get advice on something, learn something we don't know, and expand our knowledge. And as we most of us know, like life is about improving, right, and learning new things. So that's when connecting with the new people, expanding your network can help you big time. Solving problems, and this is very important. So whatever problem you're going through, um, you can use your network and people around you, whether it's people around you like your family, friends, and connections on your social media, but also people who you meet on a daily basis. I'll give you an example. So I bought a used car recently, and anyone who bought a used car before knows that it's not that easy. Like I don't know much about cars. It's not my it's not with something I am good at. But I reached out to many of the people I know. I looked up who's from my network who knows about cars well, and I reached out to them, and their advice saved me at least like the advice I got from my connections regarding like buying car. It not necessarily gave me a discount, but it helped me save thousands of dollars because of that. So I kind of like solved the problem of buying a good car with the budget I have by utilizing my connection and network in this aspect. And it goes the same with if you're going through like a challenge, if you need a relationship advice, if you're depressed, whatever going through your life, you can utilize the power of connections and people to get advice and solve your problem. And of course, another thing is being social and human. We all need to have a community. We need to expand our network, meeting new people. That's something about being human. And of course, not only finding a job when it comes to the career world and jobs world, Networking is not only to find a job when you're a newcomer and you want to find a job, but it's also getting a promotion in the company you're working on, getting approval for a request. Let's say if you have if your team likes you and you know how to connect with people well, then it's easier for you to, when, like for example, when you want to ask for a leave, when you want to take a certain vacation, if you know people well, then that will help you even with these kind of like requests. And of course, for example, if you're building a business, you can find a co-founder. So like if you have more connections, if you know how to network, this will help you find a business partner, for example, a co-founder. Um, number two, and I think there's a mistake here in the presentation. It says one again. So number two, you don't have to be misconception number two um, is that you have to be an extrovert to do networking, and that's a big misconception. You don't have to be an extrovert. In fact, with COVID-19, and with the digitization and the increase of technology everywhere in the world, it's easier for introverts and shy people to do networking. So I'm a big extrovert. So for me, I need to talk to people face to face. I need to be with them in an event on the street, to in order for me do a handshake, all that things. But if you're someone who is shy or introvert, everything now, all networking is happening on LinkedIn, social media, on email. So that's a lot easier for you to be in your own comfortable area, connecting with all the amazing connections you can have in the world without having to be outside there. So that's a very important thing when it comes to that. Number three, you need to read all tips and watch my presentation, many other presentation, and other books about networking to get to know the best tools and tactics there. And that's also a big misconception. In fact, most of networking is about being curious and being humble. So it's about curiosity and humility, and asking questions and recognizing you don't know everything. So in my case, the example I give you about me buying a car, I recognize that I don't know much about cars, so I need to use the power of people to get an advice about that. It goes the same with a lot of aspects in our life. A lot of times we just have to be humble and recognize that in order for us to solve our current problem, in order for us to maybe the reason we don't have a job because we need an advice on how to build a better resume. Maybe we don't have many connections, so we need to expand our connection in order to find a job. So it's not always about it's COVID-19 or there's an unemployment or the economy is bad. A lot of times we have to be humble and recognizing that yeah, we need to use the power of people in order to get what we want. Number four, misconception number four. Some people, it says like some people are naturally good at it because they can read everyone and figure out a way to everyone. This is very important because the majority of people, we just need to connect with our type of people and focus on that. So an example, let's say you want to work with a certain organization and you went to that organization, to their LinkedIn page or their team page on their website, and you found there's like 200 employees, right? Um, all these 200 employees, there's different personalities, there's different type of people. You can have mutual, some of them you might study in the same university, some of them might come from the same culture or country you come from, some of them you might share a similar hobby. So out of these 200 people, I'm sure you can find at least like 20 people who you have a mutual personality or a mutual interest between them. So you don't have to be that someone who is emotionally intelligent and knows how to read all the type of people. You just need to focus on your kind of people. In this case, it could be 20 people. You can basically reach out to five of them, and that's it. You're literally doing a amazing way of networking. So that's a good example to give you that you don't have to really be naturally good at this. You can just like find your type of people. Okay. So giving all what I mentioned, how do we do that? And by the way, if you truly believe in what I said, and you believe it in your heart, you don't really, again, you don't need much tactics and tools, and even to watch a lot of my presentation, a lot of other presentation. You just have to believe that curiosity, asking questions, getting advice, connecting with people is an important thing, and everything else will be easier. So um, when it comes to how, first we have to understand the difference between warm and cold connection, or as you guys probably have heard, people use the term, for example, cold call or cold email. So what is the difference between warm and cold connection? Warm basically mean the people around you, so like or your people, or there's a little, even if a very small little trust between you and them. So it could be family, friends, neighbors, your store owner next door, people already existed in your social media connections, on your LinkedIn, on your Facebook, people you're connected on a group on Facebook together. These people are all warm contacts, and a lot of times, let me tell you something, we can get what we want, whether it's a job, whether it's solving a problem, whether it's advice, by the people we have around us. So a lot of times we think we need to go to this networking event, and when we come to Canada, or like when we want to do something in a new city, we have to go to all the job fairs and find all these new people, meet these new people. A lot of times, maybe let's say you want to build a business, or you want to even do something. There's going to be a lot of people around you in your connections that has certain similar area to what we're looking for, or they can help you. But a lot of times, that's when like our ego and other things comes in, when we are afraid to ask, especially when it comes to people close to us. A lot of times we don't want to, it's hard for us to just ask for help. And that's why if you look up on LinkedIn, for example, you're not going to see many posts of people just looking for jobs. Like, I know people who've been without a job like for 6 months, but they never posted on their network that, hey friends, or hey family, or hey connections, I'm looking for a job in 1, 2, 3. If you know any person who can help, or if you can give me some advice, please reach out. Just a simple post like this to your warm connections can make a huge difference. But a lot of times we don't see that happens. So the other part is the cold, and this is where taking a step, like with cold connections, like just like the example I've said, when you go to a certain employer you want to work in, and you look up their team page, or like their who works there, and you see 20 people like similar to you. These people, they don't know anything about you. So when you send them a message, or you send them an email, or send them a connect, for example, on LinkedIn, or even a lot, like I live in New Brunswick, so here in this province, you can find phone number. Like if I Google, if there's a certain business, I want to find the number of the person who's a director or manager, I can literally Google that person and do some research and find their phone number. And a lot of people here, they just grab the phone and call that person. So like a lot of the work I've done here, and my clients and other things I've done here, is I literally found someone's phone number, I grabbed my phone, I called them, and I did in a very polite way introduce myself, and that's like a cold approach, or that's like a cold connection. But a lot of times, if you coming from a good intention, if you really need help, people is not going to people are going to help. But the reason we don't do it, and the hardest thing about this is the first step, is like just sending that message on LinkedIn, is sending that connect, is grabbing the phone. The first step is always the hardest when it comes to cold networking, or cold call, or cold approach. A lot of times the reason we don't do it, and I want to emphasize on this again, is because of our ego, and because of the fear of rejection. And this is normal. This is us humans like this. But if you if you're coming from a good intent, and you really need help, then there is not really anything that like you should feel shy, or you feel like you should not do that, because people in general wants to help. People in general, yes, people are busy. People are generally only wanna do like a service or like something, a referral or reference, whatever it is, or an advice for people they know. But if you start doing the cold approach, you will be so much surprised by how many people are out there wanting to help and wanting to offer their time. Now, when it comes to generally whether it's a warm or a cold contact you're trying to initiate connection with or use them in something, generally it's better to provide value and receive later, because relationship building in general takes time. And but in the same time, and I say this all the time to my students and other people I mentor, uh, it's better to ask for help, or it's better to ask for reference, referral, and advice, all that, then without providing a value, then not asking. What does that mean? That means if I'm currently unemployed and I'm looking for a job, and I let's say I have to reach out to 10 different people in 10 different companies, to recruiters and other people, in order for them to help me with an advice of how what's the best way to optimize my application for this kind of like employer, let's say. Or maybe like I want to reach out to them to know who is the hiring manager, for example. Um, yes, it's better to connect with that person, exchange a conversation, or maybe meet them in an event and try to genuinely like have build like a trust and a relationship with them, and then later when the time right, like ask them for that advice or that help or that reference or whatever. But if you're in a situation where you don't do that, you can't do that, or you don't have the time, then it's totally fine to just reach out, ask for help in a polite way. Because again, and I said this, if you're coming from a good intention, you really need help, and you're genuine about that person, you're not trying just to take advantage of them, then people will appreciate that. That will translate. And people, a lot of times, yes, you might get some people who's going to ignore you. You might get some people who's going to maybe not answer right away, because we are all humans. Some of us are busy. Some of us are like it could be anything, right? Why that person didn't offer that help, or they didn't answer you or something. But a lot of times you'll be surprised of how much people cooperate. And again, yes, providing value a lot of times is not necessarily like you have to give that person like an advice as well, or connect them as well. A lot of times providing value means you're generally interested to connect with that person. And later, and today we're going to come to the last part. I will show you a practical example of how I can, like, if I'm looking, let's say I'm looking for a job, or I'm trying to find a business partner, or like I'm building a partnership, whatever it is, how I'm going to do that practically. I will show you. So you'll see with my approach, it sounds general and polite. So when someone receive a message, and it's polite and genuine, it's not, we all receive sales messages. You know how like a sales email or a sales LinkedIn message sounds like, and we know the person behind this, all they want is trying to sell us something. That's a very different thing. With that, then I would say you have to definitely provide some kind of like a value, or you build a good relationship and then ask the person. But when it comes to you trying to get an advice, find a mentor, you're unemployed for a long time and you need help, then it's totally okay to just connect with random people called connections and ask them for help. And number four, help other people and connect other people. So if you are someone in general who help other people, you are a genuine person, you help other people, and you've done, when you notice like someone needs help, or like someone needs connection, you connect them with someone you know in your network, then that will make it so much easier for you to ask for help and ask for advice, and call people, and cold email, cold message people, and even reach out to your warm connections. Why? Because you recognize how important is the helping people. So for me personally, I always help people, I always mentor people, I always connect people. So when I need help and I send a 20 email to 20 different people I don't know, for me, I don't feel shy, or I don't feel at all like I need to it's gonna lower my credibility or like affect me in any way, because I help another 20 people. So for me, it comes very natural. So when you approach life that you also not just trying to build, you do networking for your own sake, but you also help other people, then it's very easy for you. Networking is going to become for you something that is very natural and very easy. Okay, so giving all that, where can we do networking? And of course, currently, because of COVID, most of networking is, as I said, is happening online. And of course, online networking is gonna keep increasing with digitization, digital transformation, the increase of technology, even after COVID. But generally, also things are going back normal in some way. In some provinces and other places outside Canada, things are going back normal. So, if you someone who like to meet people face to face, or in general, even if you're an introvert, but you still see there's a value and power to attend job fairs and attend events, workshops to meet people in person, then of course events, workshop, meetups, things like your neighbors around you, the gym. Like I personally I've met so many work connections throughout the gym in my neighborhood. Like there's a lot of times where, for example, Walmart, the one I go buy stuff from here in this city. Because I know that the managers there, the people who work there, because when I go there, I'm generally trying to be friendly and all that. Then whoever, a friend or someone coming to this new to this city, and a student, for example, and trying to find a casual part-time job, or like even find they would like to work in retail, and they reach out to me like, oh, we're looking for a job, then I can right away remember that, oh, I know some people in Walmart, so I can maybe give them that personal advice when they go visit Walmart. I'm gonna tell them, for example, go talk to John because they work in this department. They might able to help you with an interview, for example. So you see, networking is not only LinkedIn and going to a job fair. Like you can literally like help people and help yourself by like meeting people and being generally interested into connecting with people in the gym, neighborhood. But generally, when it comes to offline networking, I would say these three channels, you don't need anything else. Like if you look up events on Eventbrite, and if you look up events on Facebook events, and if you look up events and workshops on meetup.com, if you're moving to any city in Canada, if you're anywhere in the world, in any city in Europe, Canada, North America, whatever it is, if you dedicate, let's say, a half hour every weekend to look up what some interesting events or workshops, job fairs, networking events happening in your area on these three channels, Eventbrite, Facebook events, and meetup.com, then you will be able to find everything you're looking for there. Now, when it comes to online, of course, you can still, like Eventbrite and Facebook events and meetup.com, still post online events happening like on a regular basis. But when we talk about online, all the thing above, I mentioned all these channels, but also you can use something like there's Shaper. It's a networking app. They call it like the Tender for networking, for professional networking. You can literally use Google search. So I gave you an example of how I do networking by Google search in New Brunswick, where I live, right? So I told you I can look up a manager, write their name on Google and research them, and I can find their phone number easily, like in New Brunswick. But you can also do that. So, for example, let's say you're not active on LinkedIn, or you need to find a certain hiring manager or a certain mentor in a certain area. Let's say someone here from this cohort is in IT, and they are a developer who just landed to Canada, and they need to find a job as a back-end developer in a certain, like in healthcare, let's say. Okay, So you can literally put some keywords on Google and research like what some people who offer mentoring or generally people who exist in that area in that city, and you can literally find them, and maybe they're not active on LinkedIn, so maybe you can find their email, and what you do is you just like write a nice email, genuine email, say like, hey, listen, I just moved here, and I will show you later like a practical example, but like you can it's not complicated. You can just say hi, for example, Sandy. Hi, Sandy. My name is this. I just moved to this city. I was wondering. I looked up what you've done before. You've done amazing things before. I feel you could provide a really good advice for me. Do you think I can get a 15 minutes of from your time sometime for a Zoom or like a phone call where I can just take an advice regarding this thing in my career? And if you send this like to three, four different people who could be your mentors, offer you this half hour, this 15 minutes, then at least one of them is gonna get back to you and offer. And by the way, this 15 minutes, a lot of times, this 15-minute just, it can save you so much in your career. Just in my case, when I said buying the car example, um, the time I spend getting advice from the people, the connections I have who knows about car, saved me thousands of dollars. Majority of people I know, when they want to go buy a car, they don't try to, like they just don't think about these things. And a lot of, like most of people I know also, when they trying to move to a new place, find a job, they don't really use networking or the power of connections or reaching out to people. So if you do it, you'll definitely save time, get more value, and also just really do everything, you solve any problem you have. So for example, here I mentioned social media is not only LinkedIn. So again, that person you find, they might be like active on Instagram or Reddit. For example, I use Reddit and I connect with people. I go on certain communities on Reddit. Like I'm passionate about psychology, for example. So there's certain community in psychology on Reddit I go through, and I connect with a lot of people there. So Reddit for me is a good networking hub in my areas of passion. It could be a Facebook. So like you could go to a Facebook group and you look up like who's the members there, and you could find who is the person who is in has the certain keyword in that area you're looking for a mentorship in or like a job in or whatever in, and you can literally like just send them a message on. And I do that all the time. It works for me, and I know a lot of people who do that and it works for them. So just saying that you can use Facebook to find a job, it's not something just like ideal. It's very practical. Um, okay, so uh, let's do some practice, and I want here we have 17 people in this presentation. So let's practice together, and I will show you how easy it is and how genuine it can be and how successful it can be. So I want whoever a volunteer or whoever, let's say currently, uh, you could be someone who's looking for a job. You could be someone who's looking for a mentor, advice. You have a certain problem, challenge in your life. Let's say you just moved to a new to Toronto, and you're looking for a housing and you're not able to find it so far. You're looking for a mentor, how to find a job in certain area. Whatever, I want some people to write just down like something you're really facing now, and you feel network a connection or a networking could help you. So if you can write down on the chat, I want to see some examples of like take advantage of this, because if someone from you guys literally put a message like a comment now saying like, hey, I'm from this cohort, I just graduated, or like I'm going to look for a job in 3 months, this is my area I'm going to look for. I'm going to show you like by sharing my screen that how, if I were them, how I will be able to use the power of people and do some networking in order for me to find a job or like a mentor. So come on, let's see some. Come on, guys. or like, okay, let's wait for a bit until some people maybe post something. But and a heat tech, if you want, I don't know if you like, I don't want to also put people on pressure, like maybe like some people are shy to just post, like, let's say I'm looking for a job or something. I totally believe it's totally fine. We all need advice, we all need help, right? But maybe, Anahita, you can suggest some things generally your cohort go through, so maybe I can show them. Okay, let's see here from Sima. Internationally, okay, internationally trained medical graduate looking for a job in the healthcare industry. Okay, okay, let's see. So let me share my screen here. Okay, let me try find. Um, how do you actually? How do you? Um, I'm wondering, like, how can I share my screen on the blackboard? Uh,
Okay, so there's an arrow sign at the bottom right corner. Can you see on the purple background?
okay, so on which corner? Like the one on the right of the screen?
Yeah, right bottom corner, there is an
Oh,
arrow sign.
uh, share content, right?
Yeah, so click on it and then click on share content.
Okay, awesome. So let's see here. Okay,
And
so
then share application or screen.
awesome. Yes, I can see. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Awesome. So, and guys, never mind. This happens when you share a screen. Like, never mind about the screen. There's like all this screen. So, let me just go to the chat. So, international trend medical graduate looking for a job in healthcare psychiatry, to be more. So you're looking for, so Seema, you're looking for to be a psychiatrist. So like you are a psychiatrist and you want to find a job as a psychiatrist. Can you just say, given that you have done all your licenses and you can 100% like practice your everything, like the only thing left for you is to actually like look up for find like a hospital or like a clinic or something. Awesome. Okay, so here's what I would do. So depends, of course, on the context, and I would have to understand from Seema what she's looking for. Is she's looking that is there like a certain hospital, certain clinics in her city she has in mind? But let's say I'm a newcomer and I'm a psychiatrist, and I just moved to let's say Kitchener, okay? Kitchener, Ontario, or like, okay. So let's say first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up Psychiatry Association, Canada, okay. So we have, I hope you can still see my screen. So we have something called the Canadian Mental Health Association, okay, like this one. And then we have, let's see, okay, all right. Okay, nice. This is nice. We have something called Ontario Psychiatric Association. Okay, so I'm going to go to their, okay, first, for example, website, the Ontario Psychiatric Association. And for quickly, I'm going to look up what these guys have on their social network, because that's where people, the employees and the partners and everybody exist on that organization, right? So I'm going, for example, here to go on LinkedIn, right? So okay, so it's a group. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to request to join that group, okay? And after I join the group, I will able to see the members. So currently, as you see on my right, I can see only the admins. But let's say Allison, she's the associate dean. She's someone is a member, and I looked her up, and I find that she could be a good job connection for me. She might able to refer me somewhere, or she might able to give me advice or be my mentor. So I would go on her profile, and then what I would do is, of course, I have to read to see if her background and everything is someone who can help me. So based on what I've seen, she's someone able to help. So what I would do here, I cannot message that person. So I would send a connect, and then I would add a note here saying, okay, hi Ellison, Abdullah is here. I would love to connect with you and get some advice regarding, for example, how were you able to do all these psychiatry, for example, accomplishments? Okay. Now, she will get this message. She will accept, most likely, if someone reach out to you and you show curiosity, like you show that you really want to. This is again how I say generally connect with people. You don't want just to send that person a message right away telling them that, hey, I'm looking for a job. Can you please hire me within your department or your university or like your hospital or whatever, right? So then after I connect with that person, then I would maybe exchange some questions, and then I would ask them like, do you have some time for a coffee? Do you have some time for like a Zoom, half-hour Zoom call, 15-minute Zoom call, right? Then I would explain them my situation. So that's an example I can do with Ellison. Now let's go back to see other groups and association exists within that. So we have the Canadian Psychiatric Association, and let's look up if they have um, like a social network. Okay, there's something called membership here. I see. Okay, so it doesn't have to be always LinkedIn. It could be, or like social media. It could be you can join there, because a lot of these associations they have like a portal where if you're a member, you can connect with other members inside their website, right? It's like a members directory where it has like their emails and phone number. So let's say uh, let's go about. Let me see. I'm trying to find if there's a team. Okay, so I don't want to spend because I want to take another example from someone, but if let's say I look them up and there's no team page, there's no LinkedIn where I can find the employees, what I'm literally going to do, and this is what I will do it exactly. Maybe this is like because this is maybe like an extreme example, but it's super helpful. I would literally call that number, right? And I'm saying if I didn't find I'm pretty sure if I write this on Google and I write beside it like team page, for example, like Canadian Psychiatric Association on Google, and I write down like team, then it will show me. I'll be able to find some like a list of somewhere. Okay, exactly, yeah. So but let's say you went there's this hospital or IT company or clinic or university, you can't find the people in there. So I would literally call that number and I would talk to the reception or the admin, whoever, and tell them very politely, hi, I'm someone who's been in this field for a while, and I noticed that you guys are doing very interesting things in the area I am interested in and passionate about. I was wondering if you can tell me who is the person from your organization who is generally um, overlooked, or who's generally have to do with the community or the member engagement. And then that person, most likely they're going to give you that name. So and then you can ask them, can I take their email? 99% of the time, 99% of the time, if you call the general number and you politely you ask for a certain person, they will give you their email. People in general, like everyone put their email on their websites. Like email is not like a big deal. So if you call them politely, then what you do is like I would go to my Gmail, right? And then I would put their email, right, at whatever. And then I would put like a trying to connect, for example, in my subject. And then I would write a very nice email for that person and ask them for, and here's where genuine comes in and curiosity comes in. So you don't want to, again, just like LinkedIn, you don't want to right away ask that person for like a referral or like for just right away to mentor you. So being genuine, interested in people, what does it mean? If I'm going to look that up, let's say the person that they gave me their name is actually Wahid. You guys might know Wahid. What was the name? Wahid Amin. Wahid Amin. I don't know if you guys, but Wahid used to, I think, do the same work Nahita is doing. So Wahid Amin, skills for change, right? Then I found Wahid on LinkedIn. So I'm going to go on their profile and see. So I'm gonna look them up and see. So I'll just give you an example. This is literally what I would do, like if I were Seema, right? Then I would look up, like some, for example, like a lot of things. What I do is I look up the language they speak, so I know what's their culture. So in here, I can tell that Wahid speaks Pashto and Dari. What does that mean? That means Wahid is probably from Afghanistan. So one of the things I'm really into, for example, Afghani food, and I really like Afghani culture. So like I can literally say it is, hi Wahid, for example. It is always great connecting with Afghanis. You guys have very interesting, for example, culture, right? And then, so my name is Abdullah, and I'm 1, 2, 3. I'm like this. So I was just wondering if we can connect further, because I feel with your expertise in you will be able to give me good advice, right? For example, something like this. Now, I'm 100% sure if you send a similar email, Seema, if you send a similar email to 5 different people, like that woman we looked up, like she's the dean, and other people, like it could be a recruiter in a certain hospital, it could be a hiring manager, it could be a mentor, whoever, to 5 different people politely. And this literally, you see, it took from me like less than it took from me like that LinkedIn connect with the message with this email and look them up and everything. It took from me like not more than I don't know, like 5 minutes. If you send this email to 5 different people, you're gonna at least get 1 response, and that person will help you. Imagine if you do it for 20 people, how much help you're gonna get, how many mentors, how many recruiters you'll be able to connect with, how many hiring managers, right? So that's and this is a very, very basic example, like a small example of how this can be done just like in 5 minutes. I can still go very, very like even deeper and more extensive in this. So let's see if, so in your case, I think you need like the foreign, I don't know, they call it FQR in Canada, like you probably know about this, the foreign credential recognition or something. So is there anybody else? We have a little bit time left. If you guys want, if anybody have any question, or if you are welcome. So if somebody else has an example of, they could tell me what they're looking for. It could be a challenge, not necessarily just in finding a job like Seema. It could be in any other aspect. Finding a mentor, for example, settling better in a certain city. Just put the example. Okay, I'm a research scientist, PhD, chemistry, and looking for a mentor, guide me. Awesome. So Vaishali here. Nice to meet you, Vaishali. So you're saying okay. So chemistry. I'm a research scientist, PhD chemist, and looking to mentor to guide me. Okay, so uh, let's say you just moved to Toronto. Okay, so and let's say you want to find a fellowship or you find a mentor with University of Toronto. This is just an example. University of Toronto. You could be somebody who moved to Waterloo, and you're looking. You could look up University of Waterloo. It could be a college, right? This is just an example. So I would go, for example, in LinkedIn on University of Toronto page, and I would go on alumni, right? For example, and I would write here in the search chemistry. So uh, LinkedIn, you can still see my screen, right?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. So you put in the alumni here in New York, in the case of University of Toronto, chemistry as a keyword. It could be chemists. It could be like whatever keywords exist around the areas or like you're looking for. So LinkedIn will filter them. So in your case, you don't want people in United States, right? For example, so you press on here on the area Toronto, and LinkedIn will filter everyone who's involved in chemistry with the University of Toronto and from alumni in Toronto. Okay, so here I can find, okay, in my case, and this is where generally again you connect with people, and it's very fine. You don't have to be shy or you're afraid of rejection or anything. So in my case, I will see, let's say 100 people like this, right? So first of all, I would try this guy Yasser. We have three shared connection. So if I reach out to him, it's most likely he's going to even cooperate with me more because we have a mutual connection. Another thing I could do, for example, if I go to Yasser, if you have mutual, if you don't have mutual connection, I will explain. So if I go to Yasser, I can either like follow and then message them or connect with them, just like I show you an example before, or I can just go to my connection here. In this case, like for example, Dalia, I can tell her, hey Dalia, I noticed you and Yasser are connected. We just hope he sounds like someone great who could provide like some help. I was wondering if you can just like do a quick introduction between us, and this way Dalia might be able to. But let's say I went to David in this case, and we don't have any mutual connections. I don't know anything about David. We don't come from the same culture. So I would go on their profile. As you see, his cover photo is something in chemistry. So I can right away tell he's passionate about chemistry. So that person is most likely is going to help, because people who are passionate about a certain subject, they want to talk about it, they want to offer help, they want to teach it, right? So I can tell right away David could be someone very easy who would be able to mentor or help. So I would maybe read their resume, for example, here in their attachment, or I might just go see what have they done, what's some of the areas they've done, right? So if I find any keyword or anything mutual between us, then what I would do is maybe I'll look up their publication and see if there's anything mutual between us. Or if I didn't find anything mutual, just knowing that this guy has 6 awards, for me it's fascinating. Like for me, that's enough for me to connect with them, because like who doesn't want to expand their network and connect with someone with this amount of awards? So like what I would do is I would go connect again, add a message, I don't know, say, hi David, I noticed you have 6 plus awards in a certain area. I am so humbled, for example, or I'm so I'm so amazed, or something like this. How were you able to do all that? Actually, back home, where let's say back home in, for example, let's say I'm coming from Middle East. back home in Middle East, I was able to also win, for example, a certain award, or I was able to publish about the same area you did in 2018, for example. I was wondering if you want to connect sometime and talk about our passion for this certain area. Or I was wondering if we can connect some, or if you don't have anything mutual like this, you can just say like, I was wondering if you know someone I can get their advice regarding, and this way, if you regarding, for example, 1 2 3, something like this, right? So if David is went to my profile and they liked me, or if they are generally someone who would like to help, and I think David sounds like someone who would like to help, when they see that I am telling them if I'm looking for advice, if they want to help, then they will tell me, for example, sure, we can set up some time like a call, and you can tell me about what you're looking for. Or this is what I do. Like, there's a lot of people reach out to me, and if I feel from their message that they are looking for mentorship and I have some time next weekend or something, and then I would suggest that. But if they don't have time and that, they might just, what they're going to answer you, and this is what a lot of people do in Canada. Canadians are super friendly and nice. They would tell you, they will answer you. This is maybe like what David said. I would suggest, let's remove this so I can, they would tell you, I would suggest you join this group, and they might tell you the name of the group. For example, like PhDs in Toronto, for example. It could be a Facebook group, it could be a LinkedIn group, right? It could be anything. Then just knowing that this resource exists and there's this group called like this, you can join it. That's enough for you to then do the same thing for other members there, right? So just like you saw, these are very simple examples. I mean, I can literally, like, I can, like, you guys give me like very work related examples. Like, if I can literally show you that with the power of connecting with people and networking, you can solve any problem. Like, you can sell in any city you're looking for. You can figure out anything you're looking for. So let's see here. I think we're almost done. How do I stop sharing? It's okay, we can. I'm not sure if there's oh yes, here we go. I think so. Yeah, I think that's pretty much. If you guys have any questions, I don't mind saying a couple more minutes to answer any questions you might have about anything in today's topic. Like, it is not about giving a practical example or anything. Like, if you have any question, please let me know.